You're 19 years old. No college degree, no connections, no real plan for your future. Then someone tells you about offshore oil rigs. 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, food included. Housing included, and starting pay that sounds unreal compared to every other job you've seen. $22 an hour. To you, it sounds like easy money, until you arrive. You step onto a floating industrial machine in the middle of the ocean, surrounded by steel, fire hazards, spinning machinery, toxic chemicals, and workers who look like they haven't slept properly in years. The wind never really stops, the noise never disappears, and the ocean reminds you every single day that if something goes wrong out here, nobody is coming quickly to save you. One mistake can crush your hand. One spark can trigger an explosion, one storm can throw you into freezing black water hundreds of miles from shore. But if you survive, if you can handle the pressure, the isolation, the danger, and the exhaustion, you can climb from broke teenager to earning over $300,000 a year in one of the harshest industries on Earth. This is every level of an offshore oil rig worker. If you enjoy seeing how people climb from ordinary to elite, subscribe because every rank has a price. Everybody starts at the bottom. And on an oil rig, the bottom is brutal. You're the rookie roughneck, the new guy, the least experienced person on the platform. Nobody cares how confident you sounded during orientation. Nobody cares what you posted online back home. Out here, respect is earned through work. Your job is simple: lift heavy equipment, carry drilling pipes, clean drilling mud, scrub metal surfaces, tighten bolts, move tools, and obey instructions instantly. You work 12-hour shifts minimum. But 12 hours rarely stays 12 hours. If the equipment fails, you stay longer. If weather delays operations, you stay longer. If the crew is short-staffed, you stay longer. The rig operates 24 hours a day because every minute stopped costs massive amounts of money. And the ocean doesn't care if you're tired. The first thing that shocks most rookies isn't even the danger. It's the exhaustion. Your hands blister constantly. Your shoulders ache every morning. Your lower back feels permanently tight. Your sleep schedule gets destroyed because your body never fully adjusts. And then there's the environment itself, the smell of crude oil, hot machinery, metal, sweat, fuel, chemicals. It sticks to your clothes, your boots, your skin. For many rookies, the first few weeks feel like military boot camp mixed with industrial labor. Older workers yell at you constantly, not always because they hate you, because mistakes out here can kill people. If you forget a safety procedure on land, maybe somebody gets angry. If you forget one offshore, someone could lose a limb. That pressure changes people quickly. Some rookies quit after their very first hitch offshore. Others stay because the paycheck changes their life almost immediately. For the first time, you're earning more money than most of your friends back home. While your old classmates are working retail jobs or struggling through college debt, you're suddenly making thousands of dollars every month, and that creates a dangerous illusion. Many young workers think the money will last forever. So they buy expensive trucks, jewelry, designer clothes, alcohol, parties. They spend like celebrities while still thinking like broke teenagers. Then layoffs happen, or injuries happen, and suddenly the money disappears. The smart workers notice something important early: oil field money comes fast. But it can leave even faster, so instead of showing off, they save aggressively. Because they understand the truth of the industry: one accident can end your career overnight. If you survive your first year, people stop seeing you as useless. Now you're expected to actually know what you're doing. You become a floor hand. This is where the work gets far more serious. You now operate directly around drilling equipment powerful enough to destroy the human body instantly. Massive rotating machinery spins constantly around you. Steel pipes slam together with enormous force. Hydraulic systems operate under extreme pressure. A single moment of carelessness can permanently change someone's life. And this is the point where many workers begin questioning whether the money is truly worth it. Not because they're weak, because the psychological cost starts becoming obvious. You're no longer living like a normal person. Birthdays get missed, family dinners disappear. Relationships fall apart. Friends back home slowly stop inviting you to things because they already assume you won't be there. You live for weeks at a time surrounded by the same crew members, staring at ocean water and industrial equipment every single day. Sometimes the isolation becomes mentally exhausting, especially at night. You walk outside during your break and see nothing except darkness and violent waves crashing against steel. No city lights, no traffic, no normal life. Just machinery and endless ocean. Some workers adapt to that environment. Others slowly lose themselves in it, but financially, your income keeps climbing and over time becomes addictive. At first, extra shifts feel painful, then you start calculating life differently. One extra week offshore could pay your rent for months. Another overtime cycle could wipe out debt. Another bonus check could help you buy property. For the first time, you realize something most people never get taught. Highly skilled labor can outperform many traditional college careers financially. That realization completely changes how some workers see the world, especially when they meet people with expensive degrees earning half their salary. But there's another side nobody talks about publicly. The money is high because the lifestyle is hard, very hard. At this level, you stop being just labor. Now you specialize, you become a motorhand. Your responsibility is maintaining the engines, generators, pumps, and hydraulic systems that keep the entire rig functioning. If these systems fail, operations stop immediately. And when an offshore rig stops producing, millions of dollars can disappear incredibly fast. This level separates temporary workers from long-term professionals. You begin understanding how the entire platform actually works. Not just physically, but economically, you start thinking differently. You notice how experienced workers move carefully around management. You notice which companies treat crews better. You notice which certifications increase pay dramatically. And the older workers begin teaching you things nobody explains during training. How layoffs really happen, which supervisors promote people fastest, which companies collapse during oil crashes, which workers survive downturns financially. Because offshore oil work follows a brutal cycle. When oil prices boom, money floods everywhere. Companies hire aggressively, bonuses increase. Workers earn unbelievable overtime, but during crashes, entire crews disappear almost overnight. Workers who made six figures suddenly struggle to find employment. That instability changes people psychologically. Some workers become extremely disciplined investors. They buy land, start businesses, build savings accounts, prepare for downturns before they happen. Others go in the opposite direction: gambling, alcohol, reckless spending, substance abuse. Because deep down, many workers know the same thing: nobody truly knows how long the money will last, and uncertainty affects everyone differently. By now, you've also changed physically. Your body feels tougher. Your tolerance for discomfort increases. Your risk awareness becomes sharper. You no longer panic around loud machinery or dangerous environments. What once terrified you now feels normal. And that's both impressive and dangerous. Because becoming comfortable around danger is how accidents happen. Now the pressure rises literally. You become a derrick hand. Instead of working mainly on the rig floor, you now operate high above it. Your responsibilities involve monitoring drilling fluids, handling equipment, and managing operations from elevated positions surrounded by dangerous machinery. And the higher you work, the more intense the environment feels. Storms become terrifying. The structure shakes beneath you while massive waves slam into the platform below. Wind howls through steel beams loud enough to drown out conversation. At night, the ocean feels almost unreal. Black water stretches endlessly in every direction, no civilization, no lights. No comfort, only darkness, machinery, and isolation. This is where workers either mentally harden or mentally break. Because offshore work isn't only physically difficult, it's psychologically strange. Humans weren't designed to spend weeks living on floating industrial platforms far away from normal society. Yet thousands do it every year for one reason: the money. By this stage, 6 figures becomes realistic, and you begin seeing how differently workers handle success. Some buy houses outright, some invest heavily. Some retire shockingly early, others somehow earn massive salaries while remaining permanently broke. The rig exposes people's true habits. Money doesn't automatically create discipline, it amplifies whatever already exists. If someone lacks control before high income, more money usually makes the problem worse. And the experienced workers notice everything. They can predict which young workers will build stable lives, and which ones will self-destruct because they've seen the cycle for decades. Young workers arrive hungry and ambitious, then the money changes them. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. At this level, respect becomes extremely important. Not fake internet respect, real respect earned through competence. Because offshore crews trust people who stay calm under pressure. And surviving this environment for years requires a level of discipline most people never develop. Now you control operations. You're no longer just following instructions, you're giving them. The driller oversees drilling performance, crew coordination, safety procedures, and operational efficiency. Every major decision flows through you, and the pressure becomes enormous. One wrong move can cost millions of dollars or kill people. Corporate managers constantly monitor production numbers. Crews depend on your judgment, engineers expect results. Supervisors expect efficiency, and problems never stop appearing. Equipment failures, weather emergencies, mechanical breakdowns, human mistakes. You're expected to solve issues quickly while maintaining safety in one of the most hazardous work environments on Earth. At this stage, you stop trading only physical strength for money. Now you trade responsibility, and responsibility pays extremely well. Some experienced drillers earn more than lawyers, engineers, or corporate managers without ever attending university. But the hidden cost becomes obvious after enough years. Stress changes people. You see it in their faces, their sleep patterns, their health. Many long-term drillers develop chronic exhaustion, anxiety, high blood pressure, or substance dependence. Because constantly operating under pressure changes the brain over time, especially when you know disasters can happen instantly. One equipment failure, one safety mistake, one explosion. And suddenly headlines are written about your rig. That psychological weight never fully disappears. Still, many ambitious workers become addicted to this level, because for the first time in their lives, they feel elite. Highly skilled, highly respected, highly paid. They escaped poverty through endurance, competence, and risk tolerance. And very few people can truly handle that path. This is the top, the offshore installation manager. The person responsible for the entire rig. Hundreds of workers, massive production targets, multi-million-dollar equipment, safety operations, emergency response, corporate coordination. Everything eventually flows through you. At this level, your income becomes enormous. But your lifestyle barely resembles normal society anymore. Years offshore change people permanently. You think differently about risk, differently about time, differently about comfort. You trust fewer people because you've spent years managing high-pressure situations where mistakes have real consequences. You've watched co-workers get injured, you've seen layoffs destroy families. You've witnessed storms powerful enough to make giant structures feel fragile. And eventually you understand something most people never fully realize. High income almost always comes attached to hidden sacrifice. Some people sacrifice their time, others sacrifice their health. Others sacrifice relationships, peace of mind, or emotional stability. Every worker on the rig pays differently. Some with their bodies, some with their minds. Some with their families. The paycheck is simply the compensation for carrying those burdens. And that's the part social media never shows. People love posting the salary. Very few talk about the cost. Most people will never step foot on an offshore oil rig. But millions are fascinated by the people who do. Because these jobs reveal something uncomfortable about reality. The world often pays enormous money to people willing to tolerate enormous difficulty, danger, isolation, pressure, uncertainty. That's the real ladder. Not motivational quotes, not fake online success hacks. Not pretending wealth appears overnight. Real high-income work usually involves responsibility most people don't want. That's why so few stay in industries like offshore drilling long-term. The environment filters people constantly. Some quit physically, some quit mentally. Some make good money but lose stability in other parts of life. And others manage to transform the opportunity into generational wealth. Because if someone stays disciplined for long enough in this industry, the financial upside can completely change an entire family's future. A broke teenager can become a homeowner, an exhausted roughneck can become an investor. A worker with no degree can eventually manage million-dollar operations. But every promotion comes with heavier pressure. That's the trade. And the higher you climb, the more responsibility you carry, ending so the next time you hear about someone making $150,000 or $300,000 a year offshore, ask yourself a different question, not how do I make that money? Ask, what did they have to endure to earn it? How many birthdays did they miss? How many nights did they spend isolated in the middle of the ocean? How much stress did they carry every single day knowing one mistake could destroy lives? Because behind every massive paycheck is usually a burden most people never see. And offshore oil rigs prove that better than almost any industry on Earth. The workers out there aren't surviving on motivation. They survive on discipline, routine, skill, mental toughness. They trade comfort for opportunity. And while millions of people dream about becoming rich, very few are willing to tolerate the level of sacrifice required to reach the top of ladders like this one.